I miss this guy's smiling face all the time around Sycamore Spring Football. Of course, the spring game would be this weekend, but with COVID-19, of course, all those plans have gone to rest. But still, the Sycamores are busy right now. To talk about the defensive side of things, we welcome in defensive coordinator Brad Wilson. Coach Wilson, good to see you, buddy. How are you, Amber, all the boys, Riley, everybody hanging in there?
Everybody's great. I think that we've, like everybody, we're just kind of adapting and try to be as efficient as we can and really enjoying some family time. We've had more meals at the dinner table in the last month than we probably have in the last couple years. So that part's been good. We've enjoyed that. And I think that, like always, they're as ready for us to get back and get rolling on everything as much as we are.
Yeah, I'm sure have the Brady and Logan been looking at you like, Dad, don't you have places to go, like places to be?
Yeah, right. Like, when are you, they've popped in on a couple of Zoom meetings, with the players and Riley's made an appearance on a few of the staff meetings, that we've had. So they as always, they're involved and they're around and yeah, they just, they're like anyone. They're the thing they're most bummed out about right now is when are they going to be able to play baseball again? That's what they're wondering about right now. So.
Well, we were kind of joking about before the call. You brought up Riley, a year old this week.
Unbelievable. Yeah, she's May 1st, Friday, May 1st. She'll be a year, and it's what a year it's been, and just the way that to watch her change and the personality that she's developed, and walking all over the place, and she's definitely given some extra life, and just to all of us, and so she's been a lot of fun, and the boys get her outside and play around with her, and she's go all the time, so we love it.
Coach Wilson, there's so much to catch up on. And before we really get to your current team, I know he didn't get drafted and he wanted to get drafted, but what it meant for you to know that Jonas Griffith does get a shot and was able to sign an undrafted free agent deal with the 49ers.
You couldn't be more happy for Jonas. I mean, I think that, and I could probably speak for everybody when I say that, we're extremely proud of Jonas and you talk about a guy that was always, always paid forward with everything that he did. And I think that, any opportunity that Jonas was going to get was going to be well-deserved and well-earned. And he was a guy that was at max capacity in every area of our program, on and off the field, which is all you can ask for as a coach. And I think that, talking to Jonas, yeah, he would have, loved the opportunity to have been drafted. But I think that he's also the type of guy that, Jonas has always been more interested in, as we say, proving the right people right. And that's all he's focused on right now. And he'll be extremely dedicated to the 49ers organization and give everything he's got when he gets the opportunity to get out there. And there's no doubt in my mind that he'll excel. And I think that the biggest thing with Jonas that we told every scout when they asked about him was, if you like what you see on film, you can't go wrong. He's a guy that you can put your name on and feel good about it because he checks every other box to the utmost degree.
Defensively for you, adding some new coaches as well, Coach Stuck and Coach Morgan within your group. And for you, of course, coached the linebackers last year with Jonas, so got to know that group really well. What do you like about your newest additions to the staff on the defensive side and what they can bring to you?
Well, I think, obviously having known Desmond, having a prior relationship with Desmond a little bit, even before, whether it's some guys on our staff that knew him as a player, and then he was a graduate assistant at Wayne State when I was there, a few years ago. And so got to see him work and interact with the players and the way that he was committed to working on his craft and dedicated to being a great coach and always eager to learn. So I think we kind of knew what we were going to get in Desmond from a work ethic standpoint, the type of person that he is. And he's done a great job in the time that he's been here of really helping us grow and build. And, it just kind of fell right in line with everything that this program is, in terms of blue collar work ethic, all about the players. So I think we kind of all knew what we were going to get with Coach Morgan, and obviously he's lived up to that, definitely up to this point. So we're excited about him and really looking forward to to getting into the season with him, as we get going, and Coach Stuckman, I think that the same thing with Coach, when you look at Coach Stuckman, he's worked with, he had worked with Coach Smith. We tried not to hold that against him throughout the hiring process, but he had worked with Coach Smith at a previous stop. And I think that, Coach Smith is a guy that obviously I've got tremendous respect for and really value his opinion. And when he says, this is a guy that would fit in right here in the staff room and is a guy that's going to be committed to the players and doing it the right way and really be a positive asset to our staff, that goes a long way. And then obviously when you get a chance to meet Coach Stuckman, you're not disappointed in that regard. I mean, he's definitely mature beyond his years, has been doing this been a part of some really good programs and done a real remarkable job at the places he's been at.
When you think back to last year, Coach Wilson, whether a positive or negative, what's been sitting with you the most as you've gone into the office when you've been able to be able to meet with all the different guys on the defensive side from a defensive perspective? What's stuck with you? What's just been there that you've been really made a big point of emphasis so far in your meetings when you've had time?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us, as you look at the time that we've been here, the way that we've been able to build this thing and the way that we've been able to take a plan when we got here and stick to it and really not waver from it in first regard of the types of young men that we bring into the program, not just defensively, but throughout the whole football team and really doing a great job of finding the right profile of both on the field, off the field, a kid that, really has a desire to earn a degree and a young man that loves the game of football and loves everything that entails, the preparation, the work, somebody that's fun to be around every day, fun to coach. And I just look at how fortunate we've been since we've been here to be around guys like that, and you already asked about Jonas and there's a lot of other guys that are the same way that they make you want to work hard for them because you truly want to see them have success. But I think, again, the big thing that stood out is the culture that we've been able to build, and not what we do, but who's doing it and how they do it. And I know that we've always believed that as long as our guys have a great understanding of what they're doing and the level of communication is there and they're an extension of coaches on the field and they do it with extremely high effort and a tremendous attitude. That's why we've been able to have the success that we've had. We're not reinventing the wheel schematically. I think anybody that thinks they are is kidding themselves. I think that it's so much more about culture and so much more about attitude and effort and the way you do things. And that's what we've, I think, been able to do at a pretty high level.
You've talked about it, but I know those are things that you guys hit on all the time. Maybe not necessarily schematically or X's and O's. It's about that culture and that day-to-day life that you guys continue to build. Of course, when you think back to last year defensively, when you look at some of the numbers, there was definitely some drastic improvement. You guys were number one in terms of pass defense last year, statistically speaking, in the league. I think only behind North Dakota State at one point. When you look at it, we're right there in the top of the league in some of those other statistical categories. And there were times where I think last year where you felt, man, you maybe did enough defensively to win some games, just unfortunately did not come on the positive side of that at the end of it in terms of wins. How have you kind of navigated through all of that and pick, okay, these are areas where we did get better, but also even though maybe we did improve as a group, there's still a vast area where we can still go in and still improve in and still continue to work and strive and get better at it?
Well, I think for us, ever since day one that we've gotten here, Coach Mallory's always talked about the big four, on both sides of the ball. And then that's, blitz attitude, third down defense, and obviously offense, red zone, and 2 minute. And I think that when you look at those four categories, because in a lot of ways you can make stats say whatever you want them to say. And I think that, for example, you look at pass defense and that's a tremendous accomplishment and hats off to, the unit for that accomplishment. And we've got a couple guys up front that throughout the course of the year do a great job of truly affecting the quarterback, whether it's getting them off a launch point, whether it's making them move their feet in the pocket, being disruptive in throwing lanes, being disruptive in their face, making them feel pressure. You don't always have to hit or sack a quarterback to affect them. And I think you saw that throughout the course of the year, that's a big piece in your pass defense. And then obviously you look at the second level with guys being able to get hands on guys, take away easy throws. And then obviously you're over the top coverage and you're down the field coverage, and we had some guys in the back end that were very athletic and able to make guys execute in tight, short windows and do that pretty consistently, and obviously that goes hand in hand with, when we talk about blitz attitude, guys have to have the attitude to be ready to win a one-on-one, and obviously putting 11 guys in one-on-one situations, your effort and your technique is going to give you a chance to succeed in those areas. And then obviously third down, something that we work all the time. And I believe we led the conference in third down defense this year, which is a tremendous accomplishment. And I think that although there were some key third and medium to third and short stops built in through there, which are really those swing downs in a football game, those 3rd and 3 to 6 areas. You're really good on third down because you were better on first and second, and it gives you a chance to get in some long yardage stuff on third down. So a compliment to all the guys that in a variety of packages that played in early downs to give us situations to really be able to make teams uncomfortable and affect the quarterback on third down. And I think that, that's a big piece of what we do. I know that looking back, we'd like to be a little bit better at forcing some field goals in the red zone. We're right around that 60% area, which is okay, but I think that's something that we'd like to, when you get down in the red zone, it's not a matter of how they got there. It's just a matter of, forcing field goals and getting off the field and trying to maximize possessions for your offense. And then obviously in 2 minutes, you're talking about winning and losing games. We were much better in that area this year than we had been in the past. But the key thing about all 4 of those areas, we tell our guys this all the time, every single one of those areas, whether it's blitz attitude, third down, red zone, 2 minute, you've got to earn the right to be in every one of those situations. And the only way that you can earn the right to be in those situations is to show with your preparation and the way that you practice and go about your work that you can execute, and then obviously go execute on game day when you're in that situation when it's for real. So, but those are the 4 areas that I think that we constantly strive to excel in, and know that if we can do well in those 4 areas, that we're going to have a chance to have a pretty good unit and really complement our offense.
Let's talk about now the position group you're back coaching there on the back end of the defense. Of course, Michael Thomas, main leader of that unit, a guy who made that position switch last year and fully was all in for a catchphrase. I know a mantra that you guys use a lot. Outside of Michael, as you meet with those guys in that group, where have you seen virtually that they've been able to grow in the football conversations that you've been able to have with them?
Well, I think you're starting to, going into the year last year, you had some guys back there that had some youth and really hadn't played a lot of snaps, whether it was age, whether it was injuries, a guy in front of them, whatever it may be. And so there was that concern a little bit going in. And now you flip the script there a little bit, and now you have some guys that have played some significant snaps back there. I mean, obviously you start with a guy like a Michael Thomas who, again, him to be the selfless player that he is, to really, come in and say, hey, I think that I can help us in the secondary. I think I can help us in the back end. I've played there, and been there before, and really saw that maybe we had some questions going in a year ago. So he fills in and just does nothing but get better. Virtually missed the entire spring with no contact, and then was limited in camp. And really the first tackle that the guy made, other than on special teams here at Indiana State, was against Kansas last year, and so, but then as the year went on, just the way you saw him grow, his leadership, his communication, his comfort level in the deep part of the field, his angles to the ball, really made some key plays down the stretch for us. And you look at another guy like Ty Hambright that's, didn't finish out the year with an injury last year, but has really gotten to a point where he's played a lot more football for us now and really understands the scheme, and his voice is really taken off a little bit more and going to be expected to be that for us. And with the way that he works and the way that, Ty is like a silent assassin, he just doesn't really say much. He just works and does his job, and, got a lot of respect for Ty and what we're, hoping that he's going to be for us in a couple of years. Nehemiah Montague is a guy that's played a lot on special teams for us. He's gone through a position change. He came in as a corner. We moved him to safety. You know, he's kind of latched on to some of those older guys, in particular a guy like a Michael Thomas that's really kind of showing him the way and understanding that, you know, learning is not an issue for Nehemiah. It's a matter of him just getting on the field and having live action reps. You know, that's what, you know, where he's got to come in and you know, just have a better overall awareness and feel for what's going on around him, and just playing the position is going to benefit him tremendously. You know, and obviously we've moved Anthony Tucker back to safety and really feel good about the experience and what he can bring to us back there with his size and athleticism and really a physical football player that has a lot of range in the deep part of the field and really has been a guy that once again just, you know, doesn't say much and just goes about his work and really sets the standard from that standpoint. Done a good job for us the last few years. So excited about Anthony back there. Dwayne Thompson obviously is a guy that, again, we had moved from corner, played some nickel for us last year. With what we want to do, as much man principle as we play, he can really be an asset there in the slot, being able to cover down some of these dynamic receivers that we have to face in the slot and you know, really can help us with, again, bringing some physicality and some length and overall athleticism to the back end, and really can play a variety of positions for us back there. CJ Rutherford was also a guy that we had position moved, you know, and you know, CJ had a shoulder last year that kind of kept him out a little bit, but CJ's a guy that's, you know, he's committed and serious about his work and really wants to be a great player. He just, again, is another guy that we've got to get on the field, and he brings a tremendous amount of explosiveness and fast twitch and aggressiveness to the secondary. So another guy that we're excited about moving forward. And obviously you look at the two young guys that we brought in last year with Ethan Hoover, Brett Hyatt, really excited about their growth and their continued, you know, again, growth with what they can bring back there and just being able to be around them and coach them. They're smart football players. And again, I think that they've now got some veteran leadership in that room that can show them the way of, you know, this is how we do things. This is what the expectation is. And this is how we go about our work. And it's going to, you know, directly correlate to our success on game day, you know? So I think that it's like I said, a great group. They're fun to be around, fun to coach. They understand when it's time to work and it's time to compete. And like I said, what the expectation is and you know, how we go about our work back.
You know, Coach Wilson, you mentioned a couple of those guys like Nehemiah where you need on-field reps, where obviously right now you're not getting them. So what is your biggest message to obviously not just Nehemiah, but to everybody on your defense that when you meet with them to make sure that, hey, whenever you guys get the green light, whenever that is, these are the things we're just asking you guys to be ready for when that time is?
The thing that the challenge for them now is, and this is what I kind of hit the whole unit with last week when I spoke to them, was that there's a lot of things going on right now that are outside of their control. And the fact that we're not together right now on the field playing football is entirely out of their control. There's nothing they can do about that. There's nothing we can do about that. And I think that when you have a laundry list of things that are going on that you can't control and there's nothing you can do about, the only thing you can focus on is perfecting your craft. And I think that that's where they're at right now, is that, you know, with all this noise and all this speculation, and it's exactly what it is right now. It's pure speculation, but just challenge them that when we do get back, there's going to come a point in time that nobody's going to look back to the spring and say, well, you didn't get spring ball or you didn't get as much time in the summer. You know, your opponent's not going to apologize for that come fall. And so I think that that's the way that they need to approach it, and the way that they need to look at it is that, you know, they just need to take this time to perfect their craft and hone in on their skills and mentally and physically be as prepared as they can be when they do get back to go compete and have a great season. So that's, I think, the challenge for them.
Well, Coach Wilson, no question, miss you and the family, miss the whole football team. You know, it's been obviously, I know all of us can be thankful that none of us to this point have been impacted by this pandemic that's going around and truly causing, I know, a lot of heartache across the country. But nonetheless, I look forward to getting back together whenever that is, and continue to stay safe to you and the boys and Riley, Amber, and everybody.
Hey, getting back together can't come soon enough, Luke. I miss being around you, and it's great to catch up with you. And you do the same. You stay safe and take care of yourself, and hopefully we'll see you soon.